Hi, welcome everybody. It is a Friday of this time of recording, and obviously we teased it on the video that we posted last night with John Elkin in the driver's seat. We were doing a collab with good friends from Roma. So,
Thank you
Simo,
for having me.
how are you?
I'm great. Looking forward to this game. It will be a complicated one, but it will be a crucial one, I guess.
It'll be fun. One of us is going to be pulling our hair out at the end of this, and here to assist me with this is my good friend Dave, drinking tea again. How are you, buddy?
Always, yeah, drinking tea. I just have my coffee. It is 9 a.m. for us here. 3 p.m. in Italy, of course, over in Rome. So before we really get underway, because this is a collaboration, and honestly, we love to do more. We probably don't do enough, but we finally got Simo here from Roma Theory. Let everyone know a bit about you and your channel.
Yeah, so we're basically a team. I don't want to fully credit myself. I'm, of course, the guy behind the camera, but I have a few friends which help me with thumbnails and stuff. And I'm proud to say that we're the biggest English speaking channel about Roma. And this idea kind of came by during the pandemic. We were all like stuck at home trying to do something. And I remember that it was the 4th of May that Jose Mourinho was announced as our manager. And I was like, I can't go out. Let me film a video about this. And that video ended up kind of blowing up, I should say. And from there, I think I've found a consistent path, regular live streams per week, match previews, match reactions, and sometimes also bring the more interactive part, stadium vlogs, travel vlogs if we go to away games. So loving life. But thanks you for having me again.
No, this is great. Because the requests are there for collaborations. This is our actual first time doing a collab with another team in Serie A. Like, yeah, we've done other Juve channels, sure, but outside of the Juve community within Serie A, this is the first time, man. We've been to Portugal, we've been to France, we've been to Germany, like we've been all over Europe, but not within the peninsula. So I'm happy to say this is our first Serie A collaboration. So thank you, Roma 30, your team. Oh man, we love it. So without further ado, we'd like a bit of drama here. Just enough, none of this high school stuff, but we like to make fun of a couple things within the club. So, what from a Roma to a Juve perspective, what do we got these past couple of weeks that we should watch out for? What's the news?
Well, look, I think of course we've grinded so much consistency, and it's kind of crazy because I mean I'm not sure if you follow Roma much, but we're the opposite of a consistent team. Like Roma's all about you go on and win 3-0 against Barcelona one day, and then the following weekend you lose 3-1 against Sassuolo at home. That's kind of the Roma DNA. So having been unbeaten in 2025 and coming from a 6 consecutive win streak against low table teams, yes, but teams that do need to fight to not get relegated. And at this stage of the season, it's never easy. And I strongly believe that there's no easy game in football. So I'm very proud of this moment. But of course, now is the big test against a direct rival for that miraculous Champions League spot, I should say. So I'd say consistency is what you guys should fear if there's something.
All right, so you got the consistency. So I'm just looking. I'll bring up FOTMob. We like to use FOTMob around here. Looking at your last, like this stack of green is very consistent.
Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, you had your rough patches this season, absolutely, and I mean, we were looking at you guys like like it's a bad look. Like, yeah, okay, in Europe you lost that game there, but otherwise within the league, that is actually a little bit concerning. And we see right here, looking at the table, within a game, right? So this is obviously huge for Roma. If they win, you're trying to pull away from the other team, I guess you will not name from your city.
No, I won't. I mean, the fact that table puts us above them. I mean, I see. The thing is, when I look at league tables right now, I'm mind blown. I cannot believe we're 6th. Like I remember as if it was yesterday that we were I think it was 17th in the league table, and
Yeah.
I was relegation. I mean, what Ranieri has done is, and I say this because I love him. He's a legend, but I think from a perspective, even from a Juventus perspective, man, we've climbed positions. Like we're back where we belong.
No, this is insane. Like
No,
obviously we've had our issues this season, but like Roma, it's clear, and I love this storyline. That Dash will probably agree. You bring in a guy like Ranieri, very blue collar, very kind of old school, not top tier, if you will, and turns things around. And who did we just put in for the last match? We have Igor Tudor now. Kind of the same club legend, so to speak. Blue collar, no nonsense. Do you need to watch out because we got Igor Tudor now, right? And that's really what I feel this storyline is going to be. Dash, how do you feel about this kind of Tudor Ranieri matchup?
I think so. I kind of want to give Roma credit that they just kind of realized that Juric wasn't working, and they just, we're done. Like we're done with this. Like they didn't hesitate. They just got rid of him, right? Because normally you start off, first couple weeks of the season, some teams have some bad starts and whatnot. But I gotta appreciate that Roma was just kind of like, hey, we're done with him. There's no, like, we're not running this anymore, and they committed to it. And Ranieri has had a track record of ferrying teams and coming in. Like, for example, I think his greatest feat is taking that Leicester City and winning the league, right? Like, that will forever be Ranieri's milestone accomplishment as a manager. The difference between us and them is I think that Juve waited too long. And then also I think the team kind of teetered where it was like, we're kind of bad, but we're also, we're kind of decent. So, like, for us, it's kind of a prolonged thing. I don't know if because I believe we are playing in Rome in the Olimpico, and I do not like playing in there for multiple reasons. One, your pitch is absolutely atrocious, and everyone gets injured when they will play there. Speaking for myself, no, I'm just kidding. But that, and also Roma's white hot. Like they are absolutely on fire. They know how to win by a lot. They know how to win by a little. They know how to win. It is second nature for them. As you shown on the actual FOT mob, where it is just green, nothing else. So for that, I do have concern because again, we just got Tudor. We are still a little bit shaky, and the last match that we played against Genoa, when we were kind of trying to get that first goal, we were very shaky with passing and moving the ball around, where obviously Genoa isn't the most skillful team out there. But when you're playing Roma will punish you if you can misplace passes. If you don't, because Claudio Ranieri, again, correct me if I'm wrong, he knows how to counterattack, and he knows how to counterattack quite well, actually. And that's especially when you have pieces like Dybala and Sule. Those two are counterattacking players. That's why Sule was doing very well at Frosinone, because he was a counterattacking piece. So you had those, and I believe you're playing a back three right now, right, Simo?
Yeah, we're playing a back three. But I mean, good news for you guys. Dybala's injured. Dybala's season, of course, over. I mean, we can get onto Dybala in a second, but that's definitely a bonus point for you guys because, I mean, I always say this when I film a video. There's a Roma with Paulo Dybala and there's a Roma without Paulo Dybala. And I think, yeah, it's about now turning the power to the collective rather than always depending on the individual to kind of make his loss less apparent, I should say.
So Juve fans still love Dybala. The love is not lost. Maybe with some of us, perhaps it's dwindled, but for the most part, there were still fanboys within the community. There's some listening to this channel. I'm looking at you, Chiro, in particular. Loves Dybala, but this is the one problem that we've always had with him, and he has had with the Roma now as well. He's not there when it matters the most. When things get tough and the games are big, Dybala, for whatever reason, he's just not there anymore, and it sucks because you're right. Like he is pivotal. His style of play, the type of player that he is, requires the team to kind of rotate through him, and now he's just not there. So how do you react?
Yeah, and I also think that if at the start when he joined us, he was a technical leader in a sense that he was the best player.
Mhm.
I think Dybala has developed. It's his third year at Roma. Dybala has developed I would say a mentality, and he's more than just a technical leader. Like, he's a point of reference for the younger players as well. So it's a big miss. It's a big miss. But I mean, answering to your question, if Dybala wasn't injury prone, Dybala would never be in Rome. So that's, I guess,
You're probably correct. Yeah, that's an honest way of looking at it. Yeah.
There's that, and I think also the thing that he developed, as you said at Roma, of being more of a focal point player than, because at Juve it was always kind of like he was always there for the sauce. Like, he wasn't really. I never viewed him as a leader when he was with us. I thought he was just a kid, in my honest
Well,
opinion.
he kind of was. And when
He
you have
was,
people in the
but
locker rooms such as Chiellini, you don't need to be that player.
yeah, and the reason why I kind of I'm looking at it from that perspective was the first season with Allegri, Dybala's last season with Juve, where there was reports, oh, Dybala's the center of the project, he's going to be the captain, and yada yada yada, and I'm like, I don't think he's appropriate for that role at the current phase, and this is 2021. From what I've seen now at Roma, I've seen that he's matured into a fine young man, into an adult per se, more so. And you can tell by the way that he's been playing around, and I like him and Pellegrini kind of being those focal points. I've always been an avid admirer of Lorenzo Pellegrini, German Dave as well. He's not here right now, but and that's where I think again, like for example. I don't see. Yes, there is like Apollo without Apollo Dybala, but you'll still have a front three of Sule, Pellegrini, and I believe it's Dovbyk.
yeah.
Yeah. He was doing better than Vlahovic by a couple goals.
Anybody can do better than Vlahovic. Come on, that's not even a challenge anymore.
It's something that we do. We just like to point things out, but
You guys like Vlahovic or not? Because I have a few
Yeah.
Juventus friends, which it's like a 50-50 with him.
I've not been his fan ever since he transferred to the club.
Yeah, Dash was always hard on him. I started being, I guess, neutral. Always excited about somebody new, big transfer like that, sure. But no, the past couple seasons. I mean, here's the head-to-head. The rating for Vlahovic is slightly higher, 7.03 to 6.85, but Dovbyk 11 goals to 9. The XG 11.64 to 11.12, the same. Assists both at 2. Dovbyk with 3 more matches. So essentially, like head to head, they're pretty much performing the same. The big difference is the price tag.
Yeah, one's 130 to 40 and the other one's 85. Like that's where my biggest criticism has always been for Dusan is the price tag that he came in on, and I never imagined him to have that level of production that he has for the price tag. Like had he been, 30 to 45 million, I wouldn't really toot a horn, but the issue is again the 85 million and then the 22 million gross pay that we allocate for him per season. It to me is just it's
yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you're the highest paid player in Serie A, you need to start putting, Lautaro numbers or Thuram numbers or like actual double digit numbers when you're being paid 22 million gross. Like you have to perform if you're doing that. You cannot just 10 goals and, "Oh, my coach sucks," right? Like, that to me is not good enough.
That being said, Dovbyk, I didn't know much about him until he transferred to Roma. I heard people saying, "Oh, this is a steal. You guys got a great player." It looks like it worked out for you guys. How the fan base? How do you feel towards him right now?
Yeah, he's overhated because I mean, you know how the Roma fan base works.
Yeah.
If you score a goal, you're Messi the next day, and if you miss a sitter, you're the worst player that has ever touched the grass of the Stadio Olimpico. So we're very reactionary. I think. I mean, I can judge his performances because I agree with people who say that he still hasn't really understood the system. He doesn't really still play well. He's never linked up this season with Pellegrini, and he has struggled to link up with Dybala as well. So I think, and the other thing here is, I think we're asking him things that he he can't do, in a sense that at Girona in Spain, he was a box striker, put the ball in the box and you'll score a goal. He comes to Rome and everybody starts comparing him with Dzeko and
Oh boy.
Juric
Yeah.
and Ranieri both use him in a way to kind of like, like how Dzeko played, stop the ball, turn around, and let the team advance with you. But I mean, we're judging a player on something that on the way he plays, that he's never done this before. It will inevitably take time for him to learn, to get adapted to Italian football, which is a very tactical, defensive, physical football. And I think in his first season, 11 goals in the league, I mean, it was what I was expecting. So I've got nothing against him. I think he can give more to games, but we also need to learn to use him better. But 11 goals in his first season in the league, I mean, coming from a situation where his country's at war, his family's in the country which is at war. I mean, I was not expecting anything better than this at all. So I'm not a Dovbyk hater. I've always been on his ship.
Well, then you guys didn't really spend that much on him either, right? It was what, 30
Yeah.
to 35?
38, I think. Yeah, 38, 40.
Which
Which
you're
is
gonna have to pay for your striker.
well, I mean, like that to me, like for example, if you look at it, right, he's 27 years old. That's a fair amount that you're paying. Like that's not anything where
Not unreasonable.
yeah, it's not unreasonable. Like in my opinion, it's not unreasonable. He's played for a couple of years. He's played first tier football. I mean, that's the average going rate for a striker. So I'm a little bit perplexed on why people would be upset with that.
But that's because Roma fans are. I mean, the average Roma fan really, when analyzing a game, the average Roma fan is way too reactionary. But I do that as well. It's just something that the passion kind of it triggers your mind. We're very
Of
easy
course.
with arguments. But
So you guys have a statue of Manolas, right? No, from the
So, and I'm just looking here at your lineup, your standard lineup now without, of course, Dybala in it. I mean, he is the lowest rated, but so are four of the other players, and so is Pellegrini, who we just kind of lauded a bit as well, right? Most people 7-7-1. Sule, Salamaker 7-4. Salamaker's injured for this weekend, it looks like.
yeah, he's nice suspended.
Suspended. Sorry, yeah, he's suspended.
He's a very good player. So that's another bonus point for you guys. Because without him, we're a different team.
Now, Sule, we want to talk about because, well, he came from Juve, and a lot of fans, again, didn't want to see him go. So, what's your take on him?
We're
broke. We sold him because we were broke.
I like him. I mean, it's very rare that you get me saying I don't like this player, get him out. I can probably spare this judgment for two players in our team, and one of them is Pellegrini, and that's kind of where the show starts. No, jokes aside, I like Sule. He needs time. He's learned. He's improved because at the start of the season, I was watching Sule play, and he literally played like this, head down, no vision, and of course, he couldn't create anything. But I've seen some very big improvements. I think with Ranieri, he's learned a lot. Also, the thing with Sule is that imagine you're him. De Rossi really wanted you, so you have a manager who pushed to sign you. Enthusiasm, because he was like, you guys saw the clips when he arrived at the airport, like 2,000 Roma fans welcoming. So, pressure rises. After 3 games, they sack the manager which pushed to sign you, and they appoint somebody which never literally played him. Never. I can't remember 5 minutes of Sule playing with under Juric. And then 3 months of this, team going bad, fans protesting, team isn't working, team is in crisis. Ranieri comes in, starts slow because Ranieri didn't come in and immediately launched him on the pitch. But now, especially that Dybala got injured, I expect a lot from him. I expect him, of course, not to replace Dybala because that's not feasibly possible. But again, as I said before, to make Dybala's absence less noticeable. But I like him.
I'm kind of curious because you guys had 2 seasons in a row where, like, for example, you went from Juric to De Rossi and then De Rossi to Ranieri. How how has it been? Like, for example, how has this relaunch been different from the De Rossi one?
Well, in a way, I was expecting this more than the De Rossi one because Ranieri is more experienced. De Rossi was a gamble. Um, I'm not comparing the two because comparing De Rossi and Ranieri is not fair.
It's apples and oranges.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. I liked the De Rossi period, and I was fuming the day he got sacked because, look, I'll be honest with you. I think De Rossi needed time. De Rossi wasn't ready, and the second big mistake that this ownership made. The first one was to sack Mourinho when they sacked him. The second one was to give De Rossi a 3-year contract. That was a mistake. You had to get De Rossi and in June say, thank you, go get your experience, and in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, we'll see each other again. But the big mistake was extending him, giving him a 3-year contract, and then all of a sudden, after 3 games, sacking him. So, of course, once you give him a 3-year contract, you got to back him. But I agree with people who said that he should never have gotten that extension. He should have ended it there in June. But it was fun with De Rossi because seeing your club legend, your biggest club legend after Totti, become your manager, it kind of boosts the willingness to succeed even more. Because, like, we all had that dream of lifting the Europa League with De Rossi last season. Like, that's the ultimate wallpaper.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a fun experience. I'm convinced De Rossi will become our manager in not the short future, but in 5, 6, 7 years' time. I'm convinced he'll be back. But yeah, I mean, the idea of giving him a contract extension, sacking him, and then replacing him with De Rossi is it's a circus by itself. And I will never forgive the ownership for those 3 mistakes. Never.
Sounds like us in real time right now. Huh, Dave?
Yeah, we're kind of going through something.
Watch Igor Tudor 3-year contract. I'm just gonna flip a table.
No, Igor Tudor got a 4-month contract at $500,000. So,
yeah, he'll get a 3-1 in the summer because of the vibes.
See. Yeah, we'll see. We won't dive too deep into that. We have enough content where we do. But we've kind of focused on Roma, so I want to turn the tables a little bit and ask you, Simo, if you have anything for us particular.
Like what I'm scared about, what I fear the most. Well, I think I'm not that worried about your defense.
You shouldn't be right now, no?
Nobody is. Trust me, nobody is.
Your defense was
this guy. Bremer, yes. So he's out. So was Cabal, so was Gatti. For the record, yes. All 3.
So your defense doesn't worry me.
No.
My favorite player in your team is by far Kefren Turam. I love that guy. I think he's unbelievable. And look, I fear the reaction that the players must have now that Tudor came and they sacked Thiago Motta. And this kind of, we're so close to each other in this Champions League race that literally like one mistake can gift you guys the 3 points. And the way we got knocked out of that Bilbao game is one mistake. So, one back pass to Vlahovic and it's 1-0 to you guys. And
we have a clip of that. We've got some.
You got it on deck?
Oh, I've got it on deck. Don't worry. Here we go. We've had that. See, here you go. Live example.
I had like Spalletti in my mouth that I couldn't get started.
It was a great assist for Atalanta.
Oh man,
we know.
Yeah, it's rough, but no, you are correct. The defense should not really be worried about. We spent 20 million on this guy from where are we getting from? Newcastle, Lloyd Kelly. I'm trying to forget. I'm trying to forget everything about this guy.
I'm trying to forget he existed. Well, it's ironic because he was the So Dean Huijsen was the replacement for Lloyd Kelly at, I believe, is Bournemouth.
Yes.
And then now Lloyd Kelly is the replacement at Juve for Dean Huijsen, which you guys got to sample Dean Huijsen for a little bit, which is interesting.
But Newcastle, you got to walk that back. Newcastle got Kelly from Bournemouth for free in the summer
because of Dean Huijsen.
Because of the movement of Dean Huijsen, yes.
So it's there's layers to this.
Yeah.
I do kind of want to, and this isn't me like knocking Juve down, but we are terrible in meaningful games this season. I don't know if it's going to change under Tudor, but we have not won a game with stakes on the line. Like, if that will give you a little bit more confidence, we had a chance to, go over Atalanta and they blanketed us 4-0. We had a chance to make ground on other teams. We got slapped 3-0 by Fiorentina. So,
how about the Copa? Empoli losing to an Empoli like B team. It was basically
like
a Saturday B team that they played
at home. Yep, at home. Yep, and I hear Dusan's penalty is still in orbit right now to this very day.
Oh, there's a couple balls in orbit. Hoop Miners and Vlahovic.
Yes, those two pair a dime a dozen there. But yeah, that's where for me, because like also second half of the season, Juve always tend to do terrible at the Olimpico. That's why I always like playing at the Olimpico in September, October, November than in March, April, and May. Just because you guys usually turn it up in the second half of the season, and I don't like playing you guys in the second half of the season in Rome. And we have not been the greatest in the Olimpico outside of the 4-3 rally that we sacrificed Chiesa's ACL for.
That game was
nuts.
That was probably top 5 worst moments of my 20 years and 19 years of being a Roma fan.
I was gonna say, I'm like, could you imagine getting beat by De Sciglio, bottom left strike out of nowhere where he cuts two guys?
That was wild.
I am pissed for you.
I lost my shit on that goal.
Oh yeah, Dave smashed his hand on the table. That was hilarious. But yeah, you can see the record speak for itself. We have not won in the Olimpico since then. In the past 3-4 years now. So I don't think, track record wise, we're not that good in the Olimpico unless if we're playing Lazio.
So we tied last May.
Yes,
March we lost
games.
Yeah, they're very close games.
Yeah.
Very squeaky close games.
Always one goal. Except we go back to 21.
Game. I see a 1-0 either way win on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think another thing is both teams are going to be scared to lose this game.
Yes.
Because both know that if they lose this game, well, at least for us, because we've got a very complicated calendar, if we lose this game, Champions League is
pretty much out.
Yeah, you're done.
I mean, I don't know if the same discussion can apply to Juventus, but
there's still it's.
So
you still have a chance, but if we lose this one, you're definitely outside looking in.
Because I think a lot of the odds analysts are saying that Juve need to win 6, draw 3,
5 more now.
Yeah, 5 more now. So
and draw 3,
5 and draw 3, and that's it. Which, especially with Gatti being out for a month, I find that very, very improbable of happening. But some people want to dream, and we'll let them dream.
But that being said, and that's another layer a little bit. So we have no defense. That means Tudor is going to lock down. He's going to congest that midfield, especially now Roma not having Dybala to kind of move that ball through the midfield. I'm kind of predicting
it's a slow game.
This
is going to be a shit game to watch.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Roma Juventus games have always been. I remember, it was the 30th of December last year. I went to Turin like the day before New Year's Day.
Yeah.
8-hour drive to go watch Mourinho against Allegri, 1-0 Rabiot win. It was like the most boring thing ever.
Oh man, yeah, it was bad. 1-0. I remember that. Yeah, I got it up here, December 30th. 1-0. You're at that match. That's cool though that you got to see it.
Yeah.
How close were you to the coaches? Because I imagine either one of them would be a riot to watch in and of themselves. Not even the game. It'd be more entertaining.
How close to the coaches themselves? No, I was far because I was in the away end.
Oh, okay, you were down
Yeah,
there.
they had him
I-
in the quarantine end with the.
Because I imagine that like you're at a game, it's Mourinho against Allegri. The action on the pitch is crap. You don't care. But the coaches themselves would be entertaining. Like I would want the seats right behind the dugouts just to watch the coaches.
Hey, but you know what was funny though, because he was like a 1-0 Rabiot win. You guys followed it up with a 1-0 Mancini win where he shot that out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was a good win.
That was hilarious.
You guys hate Mancini because
We hate Mancini. Everyone hates Mancini. We don't like him at all. He's a piece of shit.
I always thought he was a troll.
He's like a devil. I mean, everybody hates him. But
Italian Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, but I understand it. If he was a Lazio player, he'd be like my number one enemy in life. So,
So how do Roma fans? Because I imagine players like this, the fans that the team he's on really do like him. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
He's their bulldog.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured he's one of those.
He incarnates that spirit that I think the last player which I saw that kind of Romanism spirit from was De Rossi.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. That's why. Yeah.
That makes sense, though.
I'm saying this as a Roma fan, but I think he's over. He's over. Like technically, he's not a brilliant defender, but I don't think he's as bad as people describe him.
He's an okay defender. Yeah, it's just
he's like crafty.
He's an ass. That's it. He just gets in people's heads and causes mayhem.
He's
and
like
sometimes you need
a modern day Materazzi, no?
Yeah. A team like Roma, I would say, needs that because, like, bro, I don't know. I always view the Roman teams, and I know you're gonna hate me to put like Lazio in with Roma here, but like they just seem more grittier. Like they're just more likely to fuck your wife. You know.
I got nothing.
But like, you know what I'm saying, right? It's like Mancini works for Roma, in my opinion. It's just how I perceive him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's the heat of the rivalry as well. Like it's the heat of and it's also this idea that we don't win much and we don't win very often. So, like a Mancini winner against Juventus. Or that winner against Lazio last season, and he like waved the rat flag with like that's big. Like I want to see that. That's what makes me happy, kind of moment.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, absolutely. I kind of wish. Well, Gatti is sort of like that, maybe not to the extreme, but I do love having those players that are just just bleed the colors.
Our team is way too corporate. Like they're way too corporate. Like the Juventus players are super corporate.
Well, because they bought them.
You guys had, I mean, Juventus golden era, like Chiellini prime, Vidal prime, Bonucci prime. I'm not sure if I can say this, but it's a Juventus channel, but I hate Juventus, guys.
Well, obviously, like we didn't expect you to actually. Like,
I mean, if you were gonna sit there and say I love you, guys,
feel this game a lot.
It's that's fair. Everyone does. Like Juve, again, sort of like Mancini. You either absolutely love him or you wish death upon him. And Juve is the same. You love them or you want them to die.
Unfortunately, it's the truth.
But that doesn't mean that we can't interact like humans at the end of the day, right? Which is why we do this.
It's like leave us alone. We suck, man.
Well, like, okay, so here's the thing. Like, I have cousins that are Napoli fans, that are Inter fans. Like, I make fun of them. I hate them for that part of their life, but they're still my cousins. I like, you can still get by with life, right? Yeah, so there's no need.
Half my family is Lazio fans.
Oh no!
It's like half red, half blue.
You escaped the trap.
I bet you family dinners get very political as well.
Possibly. Yeah, because I've always kind of had this running joke with Lazio. It's like I'm like, how can someone sit there and genuinely be a Lazio fan? Like that to me, like I've always just sat there. Like I liked Iglitare when he was like there. Like Iglitare is a great, sporting director, but like outside of that, I'm like, How can someone sit there and genuinely be a Lazio fan unless you've just been injected Lazio bleach in your veins ever since you were a child? I don't know how you can sit there and genuinely follow that team. Like their owner is terrible. Their owner has absolutely no ambition for anything. And they always waste European spots, which ironically this year they're somehow doing well, which I'm just waiting for them to collapse. And it's like, I don't know. Like I'm sitting here and it's just like, how can someone sit there and be like, yeah, I want to be a Lazio fan?
They're fans, like, man.
Because like we had a guy, like we were doing a live stream and the guy came in, a full blown Lazio fan, and I just saw it and I'm like, oh my god, they exist.
That is true. We have one Lazio guy that shows up from time to time.
And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I was like asking him like, how do you do it? And he never gave me an answer. I'm like
You're
at
born
least
into it. You gotta be
least-
born into it.
At least with Roma, like you've seen the Conference League win, you've seen a Coppa Italia win because you're wearing the 2009 jersey where you guys won it against Inter. Like you've had your deviling in success and glory and all that stuff. Where it's like with Lazio, I'm like, what have they done since like 2000?
Yeah.
Like, hey,
You know-
congratulations, we finished second on the table, lifetime achievement. Like, great job.
I'm sure it's a great meeting spot for ultra right wing conservatives.
Yeah.
That was the nice way of putting it. Okay. So let's wrap this one up and we'll go in with the predictions, even though they're typically always wrong, but it's fun to do anyways. And Dash hates doing them, so I'm gonna make him go first.
1-0 Roma, leave me alone.
Yes. Simo, what do you got?
Now I'm making him second guess. He's like, oh shit, Dash just picked Roma.
I don't think we'll lose because at home we're different gravy. I'm a back us. I'm gonna say 2-1 Roma.
2-1 Roma. Okay, so I am still hinging on the new coach power up because they're good for 2 games. So it's gonna be another 1-0.
For
And
Roma?
No, for Juve. New coach power up. It expires after this game, so they have to go all in. That's it. Tudor, the honeymoon phase is over after this weekend. You got to do it. It's 1-0.
Who are you guys playing next?
Oh, that's a great question.
Because we have Lazio next week.
Yeah, I know yours is a bit harder. I have not been. I take it 1 week at a time. I am horrible for this, actually.
We've got Lecce. Got Lecce, Parma, Monza, and then Bologna.
Yeah, so we have a fairly easy.
We can afford
next
to
week
do that.
matches. But that's the thing. You got to use the new coach power up now against Roma because the other games they should be easy.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine that we win against Roma and then we lose against Lecce, lose against Parma, and lose against Monza? And then I'd be like, thanks for the power up, Dave.
That's exactly the way things would go anyways.
The Thiago Motta effect.
Yeah, and then we got to go back to Rome in May 11th for those other guys.
Yeah.
Those bastards. All right. Before we do wrap it up, is there any like last minute things you want to fire either from the Juve perspective or just like you want to throw some hate on us in our community because of who we are and what we stand for?
No, absolutely not. I do everything with respect. It's a respectful hate towards Juventus. Unfortunately,
Yes.
I grew up. I grew up with this anti-Juventus theory in my house, but among the fan base. So yeah, good on you guys. I mean,
He's like,
He's
good for
just like,
you.
I got nothing.
Yeah. Well,
I
I
know.
do.
It's a Serie A doctrinization program that they have. When you become a fan of a Serie A team, they subject you to 15 weeks of anti-Juve propaganda.
Well,
That's how you be a Serie A fan.
I would
Listen,
put this as third team I hate the most.
Ooh, okay. So Inter, please say Inter.
Unfortunately, I don't mind Inter. I actually don't mind Inter.
Okay, so Lazio's obviously there.
You'll ban me from this live stream, but I actually hope to win the Champions League.
Oh, I mean that's not even like the craziest take out there. So
I mean, I'm not going to root for them, of course, but if they win it, I'm not bothered.
Okay.
I hate Lazio first and Napoli second. Napoli is like
I can't stand Napoli.
Oh, because that's like the Derby del Sole, right? Like that's
those guys, and that's why I'm really rooting and hoping that Inter win the league, because I cannot watch Napoli get more league titles than us. No, please, no.
Go back to your 30 years of irrelevancy, Napoli. Now, no.
Oh man, and that's funny because, like, more importantly, last year we were rooting against Inter because we didn't want them to get their illegal second star. So, but now they have it, and they made a big deal about it. But it's like, okay, it's still like 18 behind, buddy. So just chill a little bit.
Yeah, you know, to be honest with you, I think I hate Napoli more than I hate Inter right now.
I can't stand Napoli
because I cannot stand their fan base. I legit, like, their fan base to me is the most toxic fan base in Italy. Like they are the definition of guppies, but they keep thinking like they're the big ballers around the street. And
They live and breathe it, though.
Like that to me, like Napoli to me is Lazio on steroids.
For me, I can't agree just because Lazio is. But I mean, if I were if I'd support any other team, I would hate Napoli first, 100%.
Absolutely, I can't get behind them. Like, even when they had that season where I was like, "Oh my gosh, this amazing Spalletti's balls," and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I can.
You know, it's pretty easy. I think if their jerseys are blue, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Fair enough. That is a great sentiment.
Yeah.
You too, Atalanta.
Yeah, no, throw them in.
Yeah, also Atalanta.
Throw them in. Missing anybody? Como?
Hey, Como? Empoli?
Just throw them all in there. Screw them off.
Verona?
I don't
Verona.
like it either.
Nobody does. I hate playing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week that was. No, it wasn't last week. We were playing last week.
No,
that was the Boca Juniors, Genoa.
We played Genoa in a Boca.
Yeah,
Juniors
and I kept on calling them Verona because it was blue and yellow. And I'm like, you can't do this to me, guys.
Like, sitting there, I'm like, what? And
Yeah,
then you guys just ended up just calling them Boca Juniors, and I just died laughing. The Italian Boca Juniors, because that kit color literally looks like a Boca Juniors jersey.
No, that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. It was the collab. So that whole live stream, I called them Verona, Boca Juniors, Genoa. Just because if I said them all, I wouldn't screw it up. But anyways, I imagine, well, you're going to be in your home kit this week. Are we going to wear our ugly yellow thing?
Probably.
Nah, probably not, because we're red. So.
Oh yeah, we'll probably wear black and white. I'd be surprised.
Yeah, we might be in our stripes. So, all right. I wonder some stripes. All right, Simo. Anything else? Last minute.
I'm trying to think of some nice question. But yeah,
they don't have to be nice. They honestly don't have to be nice. He's too polite. I like this. You're a nice guy, but you're talking to North Americans and we're a bunch of assholes.
Sorry?
You're talking to North Americans and we're a bunch of assholes, especially this guy from the United States.
Who's the biggest team in like the Italian teams in the USA? Who's like the biggest one? Juventus.
No. In the United States, no.
Globally, for sure, it's Juve, but the US probably, is it Milan?
Yes, it's Milan.
Yeah.
Do a lot of people follow Italian football? Like, where do you guys follow Italian football from?
Oh, I'm Albanian, so my dad got me into it ever since I was a kid. So for me, it was I was indoctrinated as a child. No, I'm just kidding. But no, yeah, for me, it's ever since I was a kid. I got into it. So now that I can actually watch it instead of getting bootleg satellite streams, 10 years ago, even though that was probably the time to watch was over a decade ago. But yeah, that's for me. It was more so from that. But Milan has done a lot of marketing and soccer camps here, especially from when they were from 2000 to 2007. Milan would always do tours in the U.S. and that's why a lot of North American folk are generally Milan fans. Juve got a pop with Ronaldo, but like those weren't actual like fair weather Juve fans. Those were just Ronaldo fans, and once Ronnie left, they left with him, because the only time I really saw Juve jerseys out in public was when Ronaldo joined the team.
Mm-hmm. See, like, I wonder how it is in Canada. And it's difficult in Canada too because you're only going to see soccer jerseys in 3 cities: Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver.
And all of them are wearing Bernadeschi jerseys.
The ones in Toronto certainly are, or maybe Insigne. But we don't like Insigne anymore either. So, it's difficult. So when I went to the Toronto game, it was that summer that we bought Insigne and Bernadeschi. So there was all the wops were out. Every like 3rd generation Italian was at that frickin' game. There was even a Lazio fan, and he was that asshole that wore a Lazio jersey for a Toronto game. But anyways, there were other assholes wearing other jerseys, and I did see a few Juve ones as well. But that being said, I want to say they were fair weather fans because I gave a shout out to one lady. It's like, "Hey, Juve," and she just like looked at me like, "Okay."
Ew, what is that?
So I honestly don't even know in Canada. I want to say Juve, but I don't know. Honestly, I just don't know. I mean, no, actually, there's tons. I am gonna go. I'm locking in with Juve because there's like Juve soccer clubs. Like there's a whole building for Juve Toronto. In Toronto, there's literally a cafe called Juventus. There's the Juventus cafe where you go to watch the game and have your espresso. So yeah, I'm gonna say it is still.
I'm surprised Juve didn't give him a cease and assist.
That is actually pretty interesting.
That's very interesting.
I don't know. You watch the Latino network and they advertise, "I come to Cafe Juventus." So anyways, I did meet Roma fans. They ran one of the soccer shops, and I always revert to soccer when I talk about North American. But yeah, they were kind of assholes to me because I was just a Juve fan, and they're like, "Oh, I see." I'm like, sorry, I won't spend a ridiculous amount of money at your store then because I'm a Juventus fan, even though we have Juve jerseys on your wall. It was either that or they're from Toronto, so they're assholes. I don't know what the reason was.
Canada's a great place.
Except Toronto.
I'd love to go.
I'm from Toronto, so for those of you who don't know, I'm originally from Toronto, and it's a bit. I like to make fun of them. It's what I do. Okay, we're making fun of Toronto, so I guess that pretty much does it in. Simo, thank you so much. Where do we find you?
Thank you guys so much. You can find me on basically like I do a live stream. I tend to do one a day. So yeah, I'm gonna do my match preview for the Juventus game later tonight. And yeah, it was great. We should do it again.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely.
I love this. I love the connections. Also, do you know what Festivus is?
Sorry?
Festivus.
Nobody knows. It's a North American term, Dave. Nobody knows it outside of the US.
No, this is fun because everyone that we collab with and we do, I'll just give you a heads up now. And for everyone else that doesn't know yet. So Festivus, it's a joke. It's from Seinfeld back in the 90s. And they get mad with, Hanukkah and Christmas and all the marketing capitalism of it. So he's like, screw it, Festivus for the rest of us. And instead of a Christmas tree, they just put it on a metal pole and they have the airing of the grievances and the feats of strength. It's a made-up holiday. It's on December 23rd, and we have a show every year where we invite basically the community to come and just have some drinks and be ridiculous. So expect an invitation for December 23rd.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your tea.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I mean, it's almost 4 p.m. here, so
it's almost 4. Yes, we got to get going. I got to get to work.
I got to make some coffee.
Yeah, let's do this. Okay, thank you so much, Dash. Take us away.
Thank you so much, guys.
Absolutely, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this one. Obviously, if you want to see some Roma theory, go watch some Roma theory. Pretty fun stuff. And we will catch you on the watch along on the weekend and the post game, which hopefully Dave is not smashing his hand through a table. And on that note, take us away.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Simo and Roma theory.